Nashville is to music what the Vatican is to prayer, a holy city of honky-tonk, country and western, and increasingly much more. It brings the believers out in force, and even on a Monday night, Layla's Bluegrass Inn gets them on the dance floor. The old hands, and yes, the absolute beginner. Mike's band has been playing Nashville for decades. Part of him mourns the changes he's seeing here. So when Trump appeared, or as another Nashville singer might put it, came in like a wrecking ball, the choice was easy.
I had a paint business for 25 years. It took me 25 years to build this company. And when the politicians decided to let Mexico get up and move to Tennessee and take my business from me, it felt like my government had their foot on my throat and reached down and snatched my paint business away from me and handed it to a bunch of illegal immigrants.
Mike has stressed to me his Christian beliefs. What's curious is that even here, deep in the Bible Belt, that sense of faith no longer dictates where the vote goes.
In this small town of Sparta in Tennessee, we counted 16 churches just driving round the neighborhood. In other words, this is a part of the world with plenty of people of faith. Yet Donald Trump, 3 times married, criticized by the Pope for his non-Christian beliefs, leads the polls here by more than 10%. It's that kind of statistic that makes this race unfathomable.
Over the border in Georgia, we join evangelicals to try and make sense of it all. It's a diverse congregation, ethnically and politically, and a preacher focused on Super Tuesday.
And I know in your minds, you're thinking, well, this candidate does that or that candidate does. It's not easy to find somebody. I'll tell you what it is easy to do, eliminate somebody.
Pastor Rouse won't name names, but you can detect who he might mean.
I think we're going to see this election play out, that it's possible a candidate will get elected purely because the whole group is angry at the other side. And then we get what we get.
If his message has urgency, it's because this is crunch time. With half the Republican delegates up for grabs today, this contest can turbo-propel whoever comes out on top towards the finish line.
Super Tuesday is when the southern states of America come into their own. Places like this, Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, with a strong evangelical blue-collar vote, might once have gone for Ted Cruz. But Trump is dominating here. More extraordinary than that, he's dominating with college graduates, with suburban Republicans, even with big earners. The classifications may be crude, but the big picture is clear. He's dominating across the board.
Of course, the polling figures don't represent America, just a tiny Republican core who vote in primaries. But when you compare Trump to his nearest rivals, the difference is stark.
The Republican Party machine is looking for salvation. They're currently grappling with what psychologists might call the 5 stages of grief. Somewhere between denial that Trump's going to win the nomination and acceptance that it's all going to end up like that comes the fight back. They want to know if he's stoppable and what the nuclear options are to end his chances.
Thus a flurry of endorsements from the GOP's big guns in the last 72 hours for Florida Senator Marco Rubio.
The stakes are high.
Former presidential candidate Lamar Alexander and State Governor Bill Haslam have jetted into his rally to offer their backing. I asked them if it isn't all too late.
There's a lot of election ahead of us, okay? And obviously Marco's behind, but if you look at all those numbers, the longer people look at it, the more they're convinced he's the right answer.
And if he doesn't win any of the states on Super Tuesday?
Obviously the goal is to stay, in the game, and I think it's until I think you'll see Marco Rubio out there competing with everything he has, and I honestly think those delegates will fall in place.
Senator, you know what it's like to run for president. At this point in the race, does it feel like there is desperation setting in amidst the party?
No, if I were Marco Rubio, I would be encouraged because he's got the money to continue, and literally we're in the 2nd or 3rd or 4th game of the season.
The party's in a race against itself right now. Both Cruz and Rubio poll better against Hillary Clinton than Donald Trump does. Yet that doesn't seem to be a factor in where the primary vote is going. Comedian Jon Stewart is blindingly brilliant on the pitfalls of democracy. You have to remember one thing about the will of the people, he said. It wasn't that long ago we were all swept away by the Macarena. I doubt they'd recognise the Macarena here in Nashville. But whatever step they do make next will need some careful footwork.
Thank you, candidate, for your